yeah, so all in all, I'm hearing good things about it. I'm not sure how I can follow it up because the game I played is a game that was actually in development hell for 10 years and
Oh,
recently just came out because the code for this game, the source code for this game came out 3 years ago. And then
okay.
now there's a company called General Arcade, also based in Singapore and Asia, who have
Mm-hmm.
remastered the game and released it for. They released it a couple of days ago. This game is
Okay.
called Captain Blood. It is an
Alright.
action game which reminds you of a PS2, PS3, early 2006 kind of title. So if you have played games like God of War, imagine
Mm-hmm.
a slightly mid-budget version of that, except you control a pirate based on the comic in Spain, I believe. Our readers can correct us on that. So you
Yeah.
play as Captain Blood, you have to fight off the Spaniards and invaders as a pirate group, and you got friends you can switch special moves with and whatnot who can follow you around. So you go to different arenas and levels. It's a linear kind of stage thing. You fight enemies. You got your heavy and your light attacks. You have an execute button, which is let's use a Xbox Series controller. The B button lets you execute enemies. You grab them, you do a kill move. But for stronger enemies, you have to basically hit them enough until a skull pops up on their heads, and then you can do the execution. And when you do the execution, you are prompted to press any of the face buttons to do a specific kill move. If not, they'll just break away from your execution grab, and you have to basically grab them again.
Yeah.
So you do this to bigger enemies like the big fat sword guys and like the blue uniformed gunners and melee characters or whatnot. Captain Blood himself can also use other weapons like a two-handed sword, which is probably the most OP weapon. Luckily it breaks, so they don't actually give you an out for it. You got a rapier, which basically is just a faster sword and longer range. And oh yeah, you also got a blunderbuss. I guess it's a shotgun of those times.
Okay.
You just shoot dudes and you throw it away when it's out of bullets, basically. Captain Blood can also go in a rage mode. I guess he does like a shout, pushes enemies away with a shockwave, and then his damage doubles, and he can actually stun bigger enemies.
Okay.
And he also has a gun attack. You press the right trigger, you aim correctly, and you just shoot whatever's in front of you. They get knocked down. But that ability has a cooldown, so basically you gotta wait a few seconds until you can use it again. So it's like a mix of like heavy, light attacks, blocking, dodging as well. The dodge is actually on the A button, which is very, very weird because every action game I played, the dodge button is always on the trigger buttons, like Bayonetta or
Yeah.
God of War.
Even on Doom Eternal as well, when you pilot the Atlan, the dodge features the I think it's L1. I think.
That's a trigger button. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God of War's dodge was probably the right analog stick. I don't quite remember. So yeah, this game is it's not super janky, but there are parts where basically the game basically throws me in an arena. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. I mean, apart from killing enemies, and it turns out that that's been my mission all along. It's just that the enemies took their sweet time to come down, and the game did not prompt you to, hey, go use the cannon and shoot down those ships so that those enemies can go to you and whatnot. So it's very vague with its objectives, but generally, if you can just kill everything in the screen, you're fine. You're good to go.
All right.
It is fun, and it's pretty cheap too. I believe I paid 58 RM for my copy. It's not the $200 game because it's not. It is basically a 2006, 2007 game that broke out of development hell, polished up a bit, and released in 2025.
Right. Okay.
So by right, the game should not cost more than 100 RM.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's currently on sale right now until the 14th.
Yeah,
at least for us Malaysians. So yeah, it's like 54.
Yeah, 54. Sorry. I think it's 58 original price, but it's 54 right now.
I think 68.
Oh, 68.
Sorry,
68.
so
My
61,
bad.
61.
61. So generally, if you are into like an old school PS2 God of War action game with pirates, and you don't have a big budget to blow, yeah, go ahead and play it. Just know what you're getting into, basically.
Yep.
It is definitely janky, and the audio is the mix is messed up. You basically have to tweak the options because the music is drowning out every single thing you do, from the action to the dialogue that pops up. So for a pro tip, basically just go in the game, go to options, put your volume for music to 50, everything else crank it up to 100. But
Okay.
yeah, apart from that, that's all I've been playing for a bit. It's oh yeah, the camera is also pretty like it's a static camera. You cannot control the camera. It's not like a third-person kind of camera.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay.
Fixed
so
camera,
it's just
fixed
like,
camera.
Oh, okay.
So there are times where basically I'm off frame sometimes when I'm getting enthusiastically killing enemies left and right. So I might be off screen. I can't see what the hell's coming at me. But again, these problems are what you expect from a 2006, 2007 or an early PS3 game. So by that record and whatnot, I guess Captain Blood succeeded in doing what it's supposed to do. Be like a single A kind of action title. It kind of reminds me of games like those shitty games like Blades of Time, X-Blade. There's a lot of these that came out in 2010 like and prior. Castlevania Lament of Innocence, but shittier, you know? Something along those lines. Yeah. Capcom was actually no stranger to this. I mean, obviously they made Devil May Cry and whatnot, which influenced Sony to do God of War, and there are so many clones and whatnot, like Ragnar or too many. I mean, there's just so many to mention. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what else. I mean, apart from the ones I just mentioned. So if you miss those days of like single A janky kind of action titles, just check out the Captain Blood.
Yeah, I think for me it does raise the question. If this wasn't stuck in development hell and it did kind of release back when it was supposed to release, how do you think it would have done?
It would have drowned in with other action games around that time, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's not
I guess
stand out.
It won't stand out. But at this time, when it came out like this week, in a way you could say it could actually get away with being a relic of the past that's polished up and sold at an affordable price. So I guess in that sense, it is worth buying if you just want something brainless and kind of fun and colorful. Just don't go expecting like a masterpiece like God of War 3 or God of War Ascension or Devil May Cry 3.
Okay.
This is basically like 10 steps below those games I mentioned. But not terrible. Just, because you should know what you're getting into.
Yeah, okay.
It's the kind of games you want to stream and just have fun with.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, let's just head to some news because that's all I can talk about. I mean, unless you want to hear about my experience at Toto the last week when I was checking out Toto during Labor Day. It's just a rock concert and all that. I mean, it's an awesome concert. Like, if you've listened to Toto back in the 80s, hearing them live, especially with the son of John Williams singing lead vocals for everything and whatnot, hearing the classics like Hold the Line and Africa and Georgie Porgy and Rosanna and Pamela, those songs, you're gonna have a hell of a time. But again, this is definitely, when I was at the stage itself, like I was at the concert at Arena of Stars, the front seats were like half filled because those seats are very expensive, about 1,000 RM.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But the seats where I was at, that's all fully packed. Yeah, that's like the $700, $600, $500 seats. Those are 100% packed, and we're all just cheering, holding out our handphones whenever it comes to like I'll Be Over You, the some of the sappy stuff they've done, and for the rocking stuff and the jazz stuff, we just basically just rocked out and everyone just stood up. So it was a fun time there. I hated parking there because Genting Highlands has a cramped resorts row kind of parking.
Oh, okay. This is all the way up at Genting, was it?
Yeah. This is all the way up at Genting.
Okay.
Yeah. So just spend the night there. Labor's Day, really good stuff. And parking's a bitch because everyone was going there for Labor Day, going to the fun fair and theme park, the Fox-owned theme park, and it was pretty crowded. But what do you expect, right? It's still fun.
Yeah.
And I managed to find a parking like after 6 floors up.
Oof.
Yeah, it's quite a maze. So.
Yeah.
And I was just told that apparently the First World Hotel is actually the biggest hotel in the world with the most rooms and whatnot. But those rooms
I've
are
heard
tiny.
that somewhere. Yeah, I've heard that somewhere.
Those rooms are tiny though. They're kind of.
Are they?
Yeah, compared to the Skywell Hotel I was in, the Skywell Hotel I was in was very, very roomy. Like, I mean, I'm not talking like super roomy like your Sheratons or your Hyatt's 5-star hotels, but it's still like I can stretch my legs around and whatnot, stretch it around and stretch my arms and it's not cramped. It's not cramped.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Alright.
So
Cool.
Toto
Yeah,
concert, 10 out of 10. If you, again, this is like a band from the 80s that you want to see. I mean, they're obviously on their prime, but they still sing real good.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm only familiar with Africa. Like,
Yeah.
that's a banger of a song. Like,
Yep,
my
it
dad always
is.
slaps it on whenever we're like having like a barbecue, whatever.
Yeah, it is
Even
so
my friends
good
as well.
live,
I've got a
dude.
friend. I've got a friend called Ernesto, and we call him Toto for short.
Yeah.
Obviously, his like my ringtone for him for the longest time was Africa. So.
Yeah, it is so good live, dude. It is so
Yeah.
good. Everything. Again, we know. I mean, you and I mean, you. The reason I brought this up because last week we were talking about 3 acts that you saw in the concert.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know, like how nothing beats live performances. You can
Oh,
see it
nothing
on
at all,
video.
no.
You can see a YouTube video of that. You can see TikTok stuff and whatnot. But nothing beats being there. You know,
Yeah.
the atmosphere, the crowd behind you and next to you with your friends, and then seeing the
Yeah.
artists doing what they do best. I've
Yeah.
rarely been at a shitty concert, honestly, because usually they
Yeah.
are just playing the shit out of their lives, like their lives and careers depend on it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I only hear about shitty concerts like Stone Temple Pilots before Scott Weiland passed away. I was scared when before watching the one in Singapore about I guess 10 years back before he passed away, because he is known for flicking out or getting high, getting
Right.
drugged out before performing.
Uh-huh.
Luckily, he performed alright. So
Okay.
that was a gamble, like, cause those tickets weren't cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's again, this is all depending on the singer's reputation and whatnot.
Of course, yeah, definitely.
I think Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses, who recently went back to tour and made up with Slash, has that effect too, because he is known for basically being performing drunk, high, or both.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, like, the only experience I have with that was probably back in 20. Well, when was it? It would have been 2022. No, 2022, 2023. Good Vibes, which is a massive festival that we have here that takes place in Genting. We what do you call it? The 1975 were here. And,
Oh, we've heard.
Matt
Okay,
Healy
go on,
had
go
a
on, go on.
massive,
Yeah.
had a massive incident, which I don't really want to talk about because it gets a little bit too political for my liking.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
But it was just, to me, it was unnecessary, and it just kind of, they ended up canceling the entire festival because of it. Like, that was literally day one, and my now girlfriend at the time was coming there to see me, and she had bought, I think, the 3-day tickets from a reseller, so she couldn't even refund it. Luckily, I was there for free. My sister got me a free ticket, so I was like, I didn't really miss out on much. But yeah, it's just, that was the only real like concert-esque performance or festival performance where I was just like, damn. Okay.
Yeah, the singers did fucked up on that one, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think the last time I went to Good Vibes was when Smashing Pumpkins performed, and that was a while back. It was at Sepang.
Sepang would have been what, 2016, 17?
Yeah, I was still in Singapore, but I came down just to see them perform, and then went back to work in Singapore at the time. So, yeah, so good times. Probably earlier, come to think of it. Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins was like one of the last few acts, and that was really good. Especially when I was at the front, Billy Corgan nearly smashed my ukulele in half.
Oh, really?
yeah, because I was just joking, looking around, wanted to do this, but no, he gave it back to me, so it was nice.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
thank God.
Thank God, yeah. I mean, it was cheap, but still, I mean, it
Yeah,
would have been
so-
nice if I could tell a story. Billy Corgan smashed my ukulele, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
should have just done it just for the
Yeah,
story.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Well. I mean, I guess he had to behave because he has been in the business long enough to know that you can't fuck around in a third world country.
Yeah. Fair, yeah.
Otherwise, it would be like 1979, like that band.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason, I mean, I guess you could segue the music stuff we've seen to a game that's known for having really awesome music in its radio stations, because we are going to be talking about what Rockstar has revealed about Grand Theft Auto 6. So I believe after we finished recording our previous episode, I think about like 12 hours later,
Yeah.
while
it
you
was
were
literally-
like taking a break on holiday, I mean, because of the weekend, right?
Yeah.
They announced the delay of Grand Theft Auto 6, which
Yeah.
is coming out in...
It's coming out next year, 26th of May.
All right,
Which
yeah.
is, it's, I'm looking forward to it. It's literally been it's been everywhere, dominating social media. This, and I don't blame them. It's big news. Like I'm not I'm not that disappointed that like everyone's saying, oh, I just have to survive one more year until like GTA 6 is out. I'm kind of like, I'm not too fussed about it. I love GTA.
I think that was a bit of me that says like, no, this 25 a late release date is horseshit, but fuck it, I'll just play along. I mean, I won't be surprised if they come out, because they can do. This is the only company that isn't afraid of anyone. They can do it if they wanted to. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll get into it later, but I find it funny that some games have only just started announcing their release date for their latest games. Now, just so happens a couple days after like Grand Theft Auto got GTA 6 has been announced. So it's just like, okay, you do you, man. But yeah, it's great. It's taking place in Vice City. We get an amazing, massive new trailer as well, which
and a lot of screenshots and a lot of character descriptions.
Yeah. Well, Rockstar has come out and said that the trailer was all captured on PS5. So it's really cool. It is. I don't know how to feel about it, because obviously when it comes to gameplay trailers, trailers and gameplay, obviously it differs quite a lot. But Rockstar does have a habit of their trailers looking worse than their gameplay, at least with Red Dead 2. So I don't really know how to feel about it, but it's the amount of detail in at least these cinematic cutscenes is incredible. Like from the sweat on like Jason's arm, or just I think a lot of people have been talking about it. The jiggle physics.
Yeah, I'm not exactly looking at Jason, if you get my drift. I'm looking more at his partner Lucia.
Yeah.
Who I believe might be based off an actress from I guess what is this? NYPD or something, one of those cop shows.
Not Rookie, right?
No, not Rookie. It's the really popular one, NCIS not LA Law. The one with Ice-T. I have to look it up. Hold on.
Yeah. Ice-T cop show.
Yes, I'm typing that too.
Yeah.
Law and Order. I think he might be.
Yeah.
I mean, she might be in Law and Order. Let's just hold on. I mean, we got the internet. We can just check it out. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Auto 6, Lucia, actress. So rumors are pointing that she might be based off Manny L. Perez, who has been in Law and Order Special Victims Unit, the show Ice-T is in. Yes. But when I saw the trailer first time, I recognized a voice. The old man who was talking to Jason.
Brian?
Brian. That's Stephen Root, who is known for Office Space as Milton, the guy with the big specs, the big eyes.
Yeah.
And Barry, he's basically Barry's mentor. I forgot his name, but he's basically like the father figure Barry never had, being a crook and all that. So you could tell that gravely snivelly old man kind of voice, but very sinister old man kind of voice. But
I didn't put two and two together. I only know Stephen Root from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I would never have guessed that was him.
Yeah, that's his voice. That's definitely his voice.
Charles Bowles' dad.
Yeah.
Yep. Such a weird family.
And the evil patriarch in Get Out as well. He's the blind guy.
Oh yeah,
that's Stephen Root.
Oh my god, yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, all my days.
So that's Brian in Grand Theft Auto 6. So I can see him being a badass, snarky cop, drug runner guy. Because Stephen Root, if he's not playing a sleazy tycoon, he's playing a sleazy criminal guy, in that sense. So it's really awesome to see him that way.
He just has that look. About him, doesn't he?
You should go watch Barry so you can get that vibe of how Stephen Root is as in his prime. I mean, that show has done all. It's got like that guy Bill Hader. It's got Henry Winkler, and it's got Stephen Root. Three of the top guys in comedy and drama in that show.
Okay.
Yeah. Henry Winkler, Happy Days and shit.
Yeah. It's just big news overall.
Yeah, big news. The locations as well is basically based off Florida. We got Vice City, Leonida, Keys, and a bunch of Everglade places. There's even a place called Ambrosia, which looks like old school America, like Detroit, but in Florida for some reason. I don't know how that works, but they wanted to put in some. Maybe they want to put in some storyline about the old America growing in that part of Florida, Vice City.
Maybe, yeah.
What's your history with Vice City back in the day, though? The Tommy Vercetti and all that.
I think Vice City, because I have played Vice City, but I think out of all the GTAs I've played, Vice City is the one that I have the least experience with. I'm trying to think. Is it what's the main character? Is it Vino?
Tommy
V something?
Vercetti. Tommy Vercetti's the
Vercetti,
main
right?
guy.
Yeah, okay, that's it. That's
Ray
the other
Liotta voiced him.
Okay.
The late great, God bless his soul, Ray Liotta. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't wait. Like, it looks great. It looks phenomenal, and I just, it's. I don't think people are really questioning. I mean, yes, there are people out there who's like, oh, this is either going to be the greatest hit of all time or like the biggest flop of all time. But like Rockstar, you got to give Rockstar more credit, right?
Yes, exactly.
They are known for making good games, so
and taking their sweet time too, doing so.
Yeah, taking their sweet time as well. Like, don't even get me started on the question of whether or not they'll be online from launch or whatnot. But yeah, it's just more of a question of how good will it be.
Yeah. True that. And I guess it's also appropriate I brought up my concert experience at Toto because Vice City, the original game, the track I played the most is the channel that had Toto. It was the Love channel with Fernando as the radio DJ guy playing Toto and all those Kate Bush songs as well. So I hope those radio DJs like the Ditzy woman who plays the current hits in the 80s and Laszlo and Fernando pop up, and there's also like the Puerto Rican DJ guy as well. I hope they all pop up in like their older selves in Grand Theft Auto 6. Either as like in cameo, like in the talk show and all that, parodies of talk show.
Yeah.
So you think you can dance sort of thing, or in their own infomercial channel or whatnot. So I would love to see. I mean, they brought back Phil from Vice City, the gun runner.
Oh yeah.
Ammunition basically. That looks like the same guy from Vice City, but obviously might be the guy's son for all you know, or it could be the same guy who hasn't aged at all, or aged worse or whatnot with the beard and shit. So I would love to see more Easter eggs and whatnot. I mean, again, I guess the big thing is, are we gonna see Tommy Vercetti's son or relative or any character, or even Lance, the guy you killed in your backstabbing best friend in Vice City, popping up in Grand Theft Auto 6?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, was it GTA 5 had a couple references to cheat. I mean, not obviously. You could go back to Grove Street, and then obviously you've got there's even some callbacks to GTA 4 with what's his name? You could recruit him to do heists with you, and he was a friend of the GTA 4's protagonist as well.
The main guy is Nico. You got Roman, his cousin, and
I can't remember. I can't remember who it was, but essentially, I like those little.
Oh, that's
callbacks.
Bruce and Maurice. Bruce is the guy with the wrong Chinese tattoo on his back. The dumbass.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the types of callbacks I appreciate most. So
yes, me too.
They're very, the game exists in its own world. It doesn't, it doesn't rely too heavily on previous iterations. Like GTA 5 didn't rely a lot on San Andreas. But yeah, like it's. I hope there's like small little tidbit like callbacks to maybe somebody knows Lester, for example, or whatnot, like in GTA 5.
Or maybe CJ from San Andreas might make a trip down to Vice City. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Exactly. Yeah.
But definitely the callbacks that would be lovely is the characters from Vice City, like the woman that Tommy Vercetti slept with, the daughter of the lawyer. I forgot. She was voiced by Debbie Mazar, I think. Or Marissa Tomei, one of them, one or the other, or some other actress back in the day. And obviously you can't bring Ray Liotta back, but I guess Joe Pesci's still alive. So or who else? Obviously, hey, Rockstar's probably rich enough to maybe have Robert De Niro come down and say a few lines. Who knows?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci coming down for this game, and maybe, wait, I need to double check. Is Joe Pesci still alive? Oh shit! Before I get called out. Okay, he is 82 years old. He is not dead yet, thankfully. Okay. Robert De Niro still alive. Rockstar has money to hire him, definitely. We can have a Goodfellas sorta reunion, posthumous and still alive. The Goodfellas thing going on. just in different eras of the game. Yeah,
definitely. But all in all, looking forward to it.
Same. And a couple of months, like next year, but still, again, there's so many games coming out this year, so it's good.
Yeah, right.
Nice to have one less game to worry about, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. What else we gotta talk about?
I can move on to Palworld if you want.
Yeah, sure. Palworld's getting some things clipped off because of Nintendo. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, okay, so to put it into context, back in November, essentially, because of the ongoing lawsuit, essentially in patch, I think it's 0.311, I think, back in November, essentially, PAL spheres in Palworld no longer summoned PALs that you can't throw out your PAL sphere and they come out. Essentially, that apparently is patented or something, or that just is blatantly Pokemon intellectual property. So now it's been switched to a summoning thing, like your pals just appear in front of you now. But going off from this, essentially, in the latest patch, which has just come out, or is just about to come out, sorry, Pocket Pair have come out and said that there's a lot more compromises that are happening, unfortunately, just like that one. It's gonna be annoying for a lot of people. Essentially, the next thing that's gonna get kind of patched out is the fact that you can no longer use pals to glide. You're going to have to use a glider, kind of like as how you expect from your Breath of the Wild clones, like Genshin and whatnot as well, where you need to have a glider on inventory. It sucks. To me it's unnecessary. I don't understand how the lawyers over at the Pokemon Company managed to get that out for some reason, because as of my knowledge, it's not to use a monster to help you glide isn't really in like Pokemon intellectual property.
That is a shame though, especially for fans of that.
Yeah. It's just, and it's gonna be ongoing as well. I think anyone who knows who is a big fan of Palworld is gonna be, I think, over the next coming year or so, it's just gonna become less and less what we originally fell in love with, and it'll eventually become its own game, with its own charms and whatnot. But I think
it's got the guns and all that, right? And you're fighting bosses in like a gun player versus enemy kind of format, right?
Yeah. But I think a big part of it is the fact that it was so similar to Pokemon. It was a lot of it was tongue in cheek in a way, where it kind of just made fun of the genre. That's just unfortunate, to be honest. So
funny you mentioned Honkai and Gacha. I remember that because during the weekend they announced in a concert for Honkai Star Rail's second anniversary big ass concert, which is pretty awesome. I saw the live stream of that in the theater. People were cheering and all that. Really good music and everything. They played all the boss themes, especially from the first chapter. Really awesome stuff. They announced a game, teased the game called Honkai Nexus Anima, where you see a character named Kiara from Honkai Impact the Third and Blade from Honkai Star Rail throwing their respective monsters and critters against each other in Pokemon fashion, by the way.
Oh.
So I figured this would be a nice tie-in to that announcement. So
HoYoverse,
MiHoYo is going to create a game where you have familiar characters from the Honkai Genshin Impact universe fighting each other with pocket monsters. It is very blatant. If you look at the trailer, like, it's a short teaser, but you can tell right there, it's like, yep, it's gonna be a Pokemon game. Yep, it might be turn-based. Yep, you're gonna collect cute little critters and whatnot to check it out, to, bring around and be the best trainer there is in the Honkai universe and whatnot. And it's gonna be free to play, like every single gacha game that MiHoYo has created. So my theories for this is, A, they're going to eat Pokemon's lunch, not in the multimedia aspect, by the way. That you cannot compete with that. I'm talking just the mobile space, and eventually the PC space. Because pop quiz, what's the last Pokemon game you can play on PC? There isn't any, right? There you go.
I was just saying, is this a trick question?
I mean, if you gave me an answer, I think you're gonna get Nintendo cops coming after you, dude. Emulation's bad. Don't play emulation, okay? But anyway, the point is, you just proved my point. There you go. Honkai Nexus Anima is gonna be available on PC when it's out, presumably next year, because I don't think they should be cannibalizing all the other gacha games anyway.
Oh, definitely.
New
not.
game next year, obviously after GTA 6 comes out.
Yep.
Or if it's ballsy enough during GTA 6 month. And it's going to eat Pokemon's lunch in that mobile aspect and PC gaming aspect because, like I said before, there is no PC version of Pokemon you can play right now legally.
Yes.
There you go. See? Alright, so that's just my thoughts about that. I mean, do you have anything to add apart from what I just said?
Yeah, I think I find it so bizarre that Pokemon hasn't actually come out with like a proper Pokemon game on mobile. We have the technology to do it.
They kind of
you know.
did. I mean, not the AR one, not the one from Niantic. There's also another one where he's got trainers and shit, I remember, but it's a little different, you're right, but it is sort of the same element.
Yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
know what
like
the name of it
because
is.
from what I've heard, you can allegedly emulate Pokemon or like all the Game Boy Pokemons onto on your phone now, especially on iOS, which was massive news when it first came out. But you know, we have the tech to do it. Yes, does it drain your phone battery? Yes, it does. But there's obviously going to be ways to optimize it. And if they wanted to go back to that style of at least Pokemon, where it's, you know, pixely art and you know, just old school Game Boy classic Pokemon, they could, and I feel like it would do really well as well. But
they're not getting around it because they still want to charge money for those games because that's just the template they lived in so far.
Yeah.
Which is why Honkai Nexus Anima might be that dark horse that's probably going to envelop the PC and mobile market in terms of like Pokemon style simulation JRPGs. I mean, Pokemon's an RPG where you can create your own party, so
yeah.
Honkai Nexus Anima is just doing that. I mean, obviously you can't throw a ball and summon animals because Nintendo cops will come after you, so they have to come out some other way, you know, to summon cute little monsters to fight each other.
Yeah.
Or maybe even change the dynamic, like 1v1 or like a ratio system, like in Capcom vs SNK, where you can pick like how do you say, you can decide 3 ratios, and each pocket monster is worth 1 ratio. So that's 3 Pokemon. That's 3 Honkai monsters. Or take 3 ratios, put it all on 1 monster, and becomes a really super strong one, but you only get 1. So I guess you could. That's just one idea lah in my head so far. Yeah. I mean, anything you want to add apart from what you just said, or no?
No.
All right. Let's see. Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about or do you want me to start about the anime that we kind of brought up?
Oh yeah, you can start about the anime.
All right, sure. All right. So during EVO Japan 2025, which is actually happening right now until Sunday evening. They've announced the anime Young Girls Shouldn't... I need to double check the English title.
Young ladies don't play fighting games.
Young ladies don't play fighting games. So that is actually a manga from 2020 about young girls who are in a college, I guess a private academy. Being, you know, they have a love for fighting games, but video games are banned in the campus grounds. So they're basically playing in secret, trying to join this amazing tournament happening in Japan and training while not getting caught by their superiors and other enemies, because there are a lot of girl enemies in this sort of thing, in this kind of drama, comedy kind of shows, right?
Yeah.
So it has spanned about 8 collected volumes. It's still ongoing right now. And they've just announced the anime adaptation for this show, Young Girls Don't Play Fighting Games. It is coming out from Kadokawa Studios, I believe. I think Kadokawa is his own studio, right?
I mean, I know Kadokawa probably owns the IP. From what I'm seeing, there is nobody actually knows who the actual studio behind it is.
They haven't mentioned it here, and they don't think there's release date. They just showed like a teaser where you get to see the girls' eyes and you get to see Street Fighter 6 being played. That's the fighting game they're training for, by the way, and you get to see livingly animated, delicate women hands playing the arcade stick, you know, doing the motions, being as accurate as possible, doing the Hadokens, quarter circles, and your DPs and whatnot. So this will be interesting to watch, and this is probably a joke I'm trying to put in here. I'm also looking forward to the live action Netflix adaptation for this show in the next 2 years, where they replace the cast with black women.
Yeah.
And they replaced the game with Mortal Kombat 11, a game
Yeah,
nobody wants to
probably.
play right now. So,
Man,
this is. Did you see the Kakegurui American adaptation trailer on Netflix?
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer. I've seen screenshots, and I don't know if I want to see the trailer now.
I know, right?
It's just, I'm just like, I give up, man.
To
I
be
give up.
fair, the main character, what's the main character's name again? The lady, the Japanese girl in the American adaptation, is so over the top that I can buy her playing that character. But in terms of motivation and whatnot, that remains to be seen. Because if it becomes like one of those stories where I gotta rescue my dad, so I gotta act crazy and learn to love gambling, that's not Kakugure. Kakugure is about a girl who just loves gambling for her life and shit because she likes the thrill of it. That's why she got those crazy eyes and shit in the show.
I think that was the beauty of that show as well, was the fact that it delves into that kind of psychological aspect of it. It makes you question your own psychology at times as well.
In a sense,
where when you have to add a reasoning for that kind of psychology, it kind of defeats the entire purpose of it. So
typical, like the typical American style kind of like motivation, that would be bad too. I mean, it would be cliche.
Yeah.
It would be cliche.
I think that these types of animes in general are if anything but cliche. I mean, yes, okay, there might be cliche within the medium. There's typical there'll be things that you expect to happen, whether it be something from fan service or how somebody reacts or whatnot. But they're not typical Western ideals that you expect as a Western idea. When you try and force like those kind of American kind of motivations or whitewashed motivations into a story that doesn't really rely on it at all, it just becomes messy.
Okay, I think I found some let's see, additional info, I think, on Tai Ari Deshta, young ladies don't play fighting games.
Yep.
Actually, it's all in Japanese though. Crap. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a page open right now, and essentially there's only really information about who the characters are, but that's kind of already known due to the manga and whatnot. So there's nothing too much.
I think it says 2025 here at the bottom of the poster. So you think it's gonna come out this year if they announce it like that?
If it's gonna be getting announced now, today it was May now, so it's probably gonna be like Q4.
Yeah,
probably.
end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, probably beginning of Q4 if they're. Oh wait, no, there's no trailer out. So it depends on when the trailer comes out. If the trailer comes out somewhere towards the beginning of Q3, then it'll be around the beginning of Q4.
Yeah, because it'll be stupid to release it around July, August, because Dan 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 and a couple of other animes are coming out too, if I recall. So it's gonna be pretty loaded for anime fans out there.
Yeah. I mean, I need to start getting back to anime, to be honest.
All right. I believe 2K Games has announced a game that they're doing as well. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, Mafia: The Old Country has finally released not only its new trailer and release date, but also their price tag as well. And it's just so convenient that they announced all of this after GTA 6 had finally confirmed when they're releasing. So I think they've had this on the back burner for a while, and I don't blame them. I find it funny just to point it out because it's just like they would probably admit to it as well. Yep. But yeah, so Mafia: The Old Country, a prequel to pretty much all the mafias, based in pretty much 20th century Sicily, is set to release on the 8th of August and will be retailing for $50 USD, or to be more specific, $49.99.
Oh, okay. Not 59, right? So that's not bad.
Yeah, 49. Yeah. So basically, it follows Enzo, essentially, who's kind of like entering the life of the mafia in Sicily, and we'll see where it goes from there because not too much is known about the story, but yeah, it looks good. It genuinely actually looks really good in comparison to GTA 6. However, which is, I feel like that's a very common comparison to make. Yeah. Mafia versus GTA. One's a little bit more focused on the Italian mob. One's and
a story-based one too. Don't forget. There's a bit of a narrative slant for Mafia compared to GTA games.
Yeah, I personally actually don't have any experience with Mafia. I did watch the entire walkthrough for Mafia 3, and I played the demo for Mafia 2 on repeat because I was too young to
Yeah,
play
the
Mafia.
gameplay for Mafia 3 sucked, but the story was good. I like the story.
Yeah, I remember the story. I enjoyed the story really, really well. I think was it at the end you can like it's multiple choice, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like
there
you
is
can choose how
multiple
it ends.
choice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The
So-
Mafia remake is worth jumping into, the first game. So you don't have to play you don't have to play the original. You can just play the remake. The remake
Yeah, actually, yeah. My friend just bought it actually because it was on sale recently, and he was bigging it up as well.
So I'm gonna assume the old country is gonna be a prequel to leading up to Mafia 1. But I mean that's how the mob bosses got started anyway. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be a prequel. I think they're going to keep story bits to a wrap so that they don't spoil so much about what leads to Mafia 1. Like they want to keep something secret, like some Easter egg secret. And who
Yeah.
knows, maybe we'll see some ties to part 2 and part 3 as well, for all you know.
Maybe. Yeah.
You got any other news?
News. Well, at least that, I mean that's it for old country, really. Then other news. Nope, nothing on my end.
I got a couple more. You can
Okay,
probably
sure.
comment on these. Gears of War 5. Sorry, Gears of War 1. Why did I say 5? Gears of War 1 is finally coming out on PS5, PlayStation 5.
That's why you said 5.
Yeah. After 19 years, the first Gears of War third-person shooter title will be out on PlayStation platforms this August in remastered form. 23rd August? 19th August? I need to double check this story. Or the 1st of August or 3rd. Just waiting for the thing to load for a bit. Yeah, so this remastered version is basically identical to the Ultimate Edition Gears of War 1 on Xbox Series, except they bumped up the resolution a bit more, and you can't get it for free unlike on Game Pass because PlayStation owners will have to pay for Gears of War 1 remastered lah, in that sense, because the Ultimate Edition is not available. It's only this version. Let's see. Game Studios and developer the Coalition Sumo Digital and Disbelief announced Reloaded for PlayStation 5. Also came out for PC and everything. It's coming out on 26th of August. I guess around the same time as Mafia Old Country. It costs US $39.99. It's a remake, a remaster. It's got like performance upgrades like 4K resolution, 60 frames per second in campaign, 120 frames per second in multiplayer, high dynamic range, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos, spatial variable refresh rate, 4K assets and remastered textures, 0 loading screens during campaign, and a lot of pretty cool effects to make it look as remastered as possible. Higher resolutions, everything 4K. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. It was actually it's a weird time to think about because people never in a million years would see a Gears of War game on a PlayStation console. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
That's like I mean, yeah, that is result. Gears of War is one of those. It's one of those IPs that is one of the only Xbox IPs I think that I never played. But I am very, very familiar with it in terms of just like osmosis, and I was a big fan of the esports scene of it as well. And yeah, like it's one of those games that you really just do associate with just Xbox, and it almost feels, it doesn't feel right that to hear it out on PlayStation, right?
It's like the kind of horror movie thing where it's that person you knew, but then it's actually not that person you know. It's actually the skin of the person. It's actually a stranger wearing a skin of a friend you knew. That sort of thing. I'm thinking Midsommar because Florence Pugh, and then I saw Thunderbolts. Kind of made the connection. I don't know how. I'm sick in the head sometimes. But generally, yeah, it's just weird to see a Gears of War game on a PlayStation 5. With any luck, I hope there are more remasters for like 2, 3. Actually, just 2 and 3 is enough, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't care about 4 and 5. They can fuck off, honestly. 2 and 3 are still the best. Make them remastered and all that. They got really. The trilogy is like the best Gears of War game I've played in terms of like the roadie run, the way the third-person shooting is handled that influenced other games to be like that. And come on, you can't say no to a gun that's a chainsaw as well. The Lancer. The Lancer is it's like one of the best weapons. It's like peanut. I mean, you got the greatest inventions in mankind: peanut butter jelly sandwich, banh mi from Vietnam, the sandwich.
Yeah.
Kaya and peanut butter. If you mix that together, that's actually really good. And a chainsaw and a gun together.
Yeah.
That's the Lancer, dude. Man's best invention since sliced bread.
Yeah.
You can actually slice bread with it, and organs and locusts and people with it too. So, yeah. Another piece of news I want to get before we wrap up the show is there is a new Southeast Asian game made by developers Game Changers. You should know this group because they made the My Lovely Empress and the My Lovely series. They have announced a new game called 1998, The Tollkeeper Story, an adventure game where you play a tollkeeper working during the late 90s Southeast Asian financial crisis. They did not call the country Indonesia. They gave it a name that's similar to Jakarta. Just give me a second. I really wish I typed that in the actual... it's in the country of Janapa.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to read the synopsis from the Steam page right there. A narrative simulation game where you play as a mother-to-be working as a tollkeeper in the fictional country of Janapa, a nation on the brink of chaos. It is obviously mirroring the financial crisis in Southeast Asia in 1998 onward, where I actually was with a roommate back in Canada who actually survived the 1998 riots in Jakarta because they actually did storm his apartment complex, the rioters, but luckily they just kept barricaded his house and everything. They stayed in until everybody left. They only had the window to look out of, and then they had to stay inside quiet until the noise dies down, because it was such a terrible time. And in a way, I mean, this game is actually completely different compared to My Lovely Empress, because that was a simulation/visual novel, right? You reviewed that game?
Sorry, so is this the last
My
one?
Lovely Empress. You reviewed that game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, My Lovely Empress was a it was. I mean, it was a kind of it was a weird take on a dating sim, which was
dating sim.
It was a breath of fresh air, and it worked. It worked really, really nicely, and I really, really enjoyed my time with it, actually. It was quite easy. It was very unforgiving. The moment, if you messed up, even the slightest, you would have to start all the way back from the beginning. And, it's not like a roguelite or anything, so, you don't get really any additional perks to help you throughout the runs or anything. You just kind of have to memorize your most optimal route on, how do I manage the country, and then how do I also keep my Empress alive as well. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and if they're behind this one as well, I think there's relatively high hope for this. I think.
All right.
It was a really, really well polished game.
Yeah. Cool. So this 1998 game, it's definitely a far cry from the fantastical nature of the My Lovely Empress and the My Lovely series. So it's a lot more grounded, a lot more realistic, but it still has that art style. I mean, if you look at the Steam page, you see Dewi, who is the main character, who's pregnant with his husband. That's the thing. That's the same art style that they have for My Lovely Empress, but more grounded. And you've got it's basically mimicking Papers, Please in terms of gameplay. Like, you get to decide who goes through the toll or not, or make difficult moral choices. Do you act as a smuggler, or do you follow the rules to keep your job? And you also got to talk to your husband and, make ends meet and keep your sanity and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, a difference I'm noticing, at least in terms of the art style, because it is a little reminiscent, but it's obviously at least with the Tollkeeper, it's a lot less saturated in comparison to My Lovely Empress. My Lovely Empress it tried its best to replicate kind of Chinese parchment paper art.
Yes.
Which obviously it made sense, thematically. And in the case of this one as well, I feel like during the time period it takes place in, the art style really does fit. And I feel like it really, but just from the couple of screenshots I'm looking at right now, it really just does put you in that time period, a time of where there was a lot of tension and civil unrest, and yeah, I feel like it,
and whether your wife and whether your main character survives or not.
Yeah,
that would be I suspect this will be a game with multiple endings, that's for sure. Or some message that it's trying to tell through its multiple endings. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this, considering that it's been ages since I played something very grounded, because I mean, I obviously can't talk about the indie games I'm playing right now because the embargo's only lifted later at the end of the month. But compared to this, the games I'm playing right now are a bit more out there and fantastical.
Okay.
So maybe to balance out all that excitement, I will need to play something like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's it. All right, thanks a lot, Lois, for joining me for this. How are people gonna follow you and whatnot?
No worries, I mean,
Twitter.
yeah, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on pretty much all of KKP's platforms as well. I've got the, in the works at the moment, by this time this is out, the written review for Doom should be out. I go a lot more in depth on that, so be sure to check that out. Then I am currently working on the videos for it as well. I plan on making a Loot or Leave It, so that should be out in the coming week.
All right,
And
sweet,
then obviously we'll be doing some you'll be able to see some Doom gameplay as well, with maybe the Atlan, the Dragon, or boss fights as well.
Nice, nice. I will be checking out Evo Japan 2025 from the comforts of my room. So I'll be checking out the highlights and everything. So there should be a video on that, hopefully. Touch wood. And see whatever is being announced. I mean, they're gonna announce a bunch of new DLC. In fact, they're actually showcasing Andy Bogard, the new character for Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, or rather, old character made new because he is in the old Fatal Fury games. As free DLC coming out soon in summer 2025. So there's gonna be gameplay for Elena as well. We're gonna be seeing. I think some new Tekken 8 news, Grand Blue Fantasy vs Rising. We're gonna see the new character, the Earth Dragon girl. I forgot her name, but she's gonna be presented, I guess, in gameplay form. And probably more Fatal Fury and Street Fighter 6 Season 3 announcements. Who knows? Yeah, so looking forward to that. And yeah, that's it from my side. Follow us on KKP website and on our YouTube page, Kakucho Parade. We post new content every week. And that's it. See you guys.